Okay, world history students, let's talk about your DBQs. So there were some common positives and some common things to work on in the way that you guys addressed the questions, regardless of which topic you were working on. So the best responses that you gave included specific facts, sometimes in terms of numbers, sometimes in terms of location, maybe related to a particular image, when you cited the documents very specifically in your answers and then explained your answers. So rather than just saying priests moved frequently during the Middle Ages, you said priests moved frequently during the Middle Ages, which caused the priests to have a higher death rate than the rest of the population. Or maybe priests helped to spread the plague by traveling. So you gave a fact from the document and then you drew a conclusion from it and you explained how it related back to the question. So this was the best kind of answer that you guys gave for your DBQ. A lot of you gave answers that were competent but didn't go a step beyond. So maybe if you had a question about, I'm trying to think of an example, guys. Maybe if you had a question about was something civilized, like the Mongol question or the Aztec questions that focused more on here are a set of rules, what do you think about those rules, or identify a rule that matches a certain criteria. Maybe you stated the category of the rule, but you didn't say how that gave evidence of the thing the question was asking about, whether it was civilization or barbarism. So, when you use the information that you answered your questions with to start creating your brainstorm and outline, what you need to consider is whether or not you need to go back and add more information to your question responses in order to have stronger proof for the arguments that you're creating in your essay. So let's talk about that step. So today, you need to work on the essay brainstorm and then move on to the essay outline. Let's go back to the brainstorm. In this topic section of the brainstorm page, you are going to write the question that is on the front of your DBQ. So here we go. If I'm Brandy, I am doing this DBQ on the Mongols, and the topic that goes in that bubble is how barbaric were the barbarians. So this is what I'm putting in the topic. How barbaric were the barbarians? In these individual bubbles, I'm going to give some potential answers to that question. Maybe here I'm going to write they were very barbaric. Up here I'm going to say not barbaric. Down here I'm going to say completely barbaric. Maybe I include the same answer more than once, and that's okay because eventually I want to be creating an argument to answer this question on one side or the other, one end of a spectrum or the other. So I'm going to put my answer, my very, very short, a couple of word potential answer to that topic question in this box here, and then I'm going to list proof. I'm going to include specific facts or information with a citation, so document A, document N, right here in this bubble to back up that opinion about the topic at hand. So what you're doing here is assembling some potential thesis statement, and you're assembling potential proof for your thesis. There's a different way that you could approach this. If you're looking at your topic and your topic is how different were the responses from Christians and Muslims to the Black Death, if you know that you're going to write an essay that says their responses were not very different, or you know you're going to write an essay that says their responses were very different, you can go ahead and start to assemble some categorized proof here. So instead of breaking it down and trying to determine what your argument will be, this is a place that you can start assembling the assertions and categories to make that argument in. So you can go ahead and say, okay, topic, the responses from Christians and Muslims were very different. They were different in terms of religious response. They were different in terms of government response. They were different in terms of medical response. And then give some proof. Or they were similar in those ways. Whatever side your argument falls on. If you're doing the Aztecs, what should history say about the Aztecs? History should say that the Aztecs were a super advanced and civilized people. Or history should say that the Aztecs were a crazy sacrificing people empire. Here are my examples. All right, so both ways. If you know how you want to answer the question for the DBQ in your essay, do the second method. Start assembling the assertions and proofs for your essay. If you don't know, if you need to use this brainstorm to figure out how you're going to answer the question, then do it way number one. Put your question here, potential answers, and potential proof that would support the answers in the thought bubbles. This is not graded. That does not mean you do not need to do it, but it does mean that this is for you to work some stuff out. If there's a totally different way that you want to approach this and you think that it's going to help you more than any way that I've laid out here, you can do that. The way I've given you are two good methods to get started with this brainstorm and make sure that your essay is ready to go and your outline is going to be super clear and ready for the conference that we will have on those outlines on Thursday. So let's talk about the outline. During class on Thursday, you will sign up for an outline conference. You and I will go through your outline together. I will score your outline for your grade as part of your final exam, and we will talk about what changes need to happen in order for you to be ready to write your essay. So if your outline is not done at the end of class today, then you need to find the time to work on it between now and Thursday. The first part is your thesis statement. There is a guide to help you refine your thesis statement in this packet as well, and that's something that you will work on in class on Thursday when we're not conferencing. For now, your thesis statement needs to simply answer that topic question. So whichever question you're doing, this is your basic answer that you're going to argue within the rest of your essay. Assertions 1, 2, and 3. So we've written APEC paragraphs all year this year. Now we're going to take those paragraphs and have 3 different assertions on the same topic that back up the same essay from different perspectives. So maybe assertion 1 has to do with geography. Here is how this thing relates to the land where people lived, or the trade routes that something spread on. Maybe assertion 2 is about government. Here is how the governments demonstrate that whatever the thing is. Maybe assertion 3 is about leadership. Or maybe we're looking at different points of view. The Mongols or the Aztecs. The Aztecs from the Aztec point of view, the Aztecs from the Spanish point of view, a third point of view about the Aztecs, a historian's point of view about the Aztecs. Maybe I'm looking at Han China and classical Greece. Maybe I have an assertion that says, here is this thing that's very similar about them. Here is another thing about them that's very similar, but here's a thing that's really different. Maybe in the end they're not that similar. This is going to allow you to set up your arguments and then draw a conclusion at the end, but you want to set up your arguments in a way that makes sense to support your thesis. This continues. So, supporting document. Supporting document 1, that's proof. Explain your proof. How does that support your assertion? You're going to do that 3 times for each paragraph. Your goal should be that you can have 3 proofs for each assertion. You must have a minimum of 2. On the other side of the outline is more outlining space. So again, supporting documents, explaining how those documents relate to your assertions. And then in the end, we're tying it back together. These conclusions or connections for paragraphs 1, 2, and 3 are not your conclusion for your whole paper. That's what comes down here, and we're going to work again on Thursday on writing that intro and conclusion. For now, what you need to do is to say, okay, here is the big idea. We're restating the big idea of the paragraph, or you're planning a way that you're going to connect part 1 of your argument to part 2 of your argument, or part 2 of your argument to part 3 of your argument. So you can decide whether those are sentences that are going to connect paragraphs or whether that's a sentence that's going to end the paragraph and allow you to move on to the next topic in that way. When you write your full essay, part of your job in any event is going to be to go back and smooth that out. Make sure that those connections make your essay read like one coherent argument rather than reading like 3 paragraphs that you threw together. We want them to read like one complete thought, one complete document, and these connecting sentences are going to help that to happen. All right, you have a lot to do today. You need to be concentrated, you need to be focused. If you are sitting with people that you know that's not going to happen with, then you need to move yourself. Remember, this is a final exam, so it is individual work. This is not collaborative between you and your 3 best friends who are all writing the same essay topic. If you need to physically move yourself away from other people, it is up to you to make the mature decision to do that today. All right, guys, get to work.